because from this morning we had the questions, the questions regarding vaping and some uncertainties coming up, and I thought it's important that I just fill in some of the blanks there with some documents. My hard-working research team managed to pull this together quite quickly, and I think it's really important to put this on the record. So I'll shortly seek leave to table these papers, 3 of them. But first, a letter from GLR Law to the owners of a particular specialist vape shop from July of last year, in which they relate a legal advice obtained from the Department of Health, namely that, and I quote here, the Tobacco Control Department of the West Australian Health Department advised it is only illegal to sell a complete working device with all components from the one outlet. It is not, however, illegal to sell the individual parts or to sell all parts, provided it is between 2 separate outlets. I know, I don't understand it, but there we are. We are advised that you, that's the vape store, comply with this requirement. And secondly, I've also got a screenshot from the Department of Health's website, which explicitly states that e-cigarette liquids which do not contain nicotine are exempt from the 2016 ruling and are legal for sale in Western Australia. To my knowledge, that advice has been consistent on the website since at least 2019, and it says, and I quote, the Western Australian Supreme Court decision does not encompass the sale of e-liquids, e-juice, vape juice. I am advised that the screenshot was taken in early 2022, and I can confirm that the information has been taken down since that date. Now, it was asked this morning how businesses could be operating if the products they were selling were not legal. A very valid question. I believe that question has been answered. This is, of course, some people's livelihoods we're dealing with here, so I want to be very, very clear. If the department took a different view to its long-established one in April, that view has not been communicated anywhere near adequately to the retailers or other interested parties. And in regard to interested third parties, I have a third document, which I will also seek to table, which is correspondence from the City of Kalgoorlie, Boulder, to another vendor. The City had also sought advice from the Department of Health and reported that, so long as a functioning vape device was not being sold, i.e. the device was broken down into parts, and those parts sold separately from different business premises, does that make sense? The sales were legal. That email correspondence is dated 31st January 2019, so again, significantly later than the 2016 case, to which I believe the Minister was making reference this morning. Now, this makes me doubly glad that we brought our motion, because what it has made crystal clear, I think, to all of us here is that there is both confusion and contradiction in the messaging from the Department of Health, and that confusion and contradiction is likely to have serious impact on people's livelihoods. It's about small business here. If it is now the government's contention that these hitherto legal businesses who have been operating on and under advice received from the Department of Health, they have now, through no change in their own practice, been deemed to have broken the law, then the government needs to make its intention on the matter clear. I think the intention is quite clear. You want to ban that. That's clear. I seek leave, however, to table the documents I have referenced and urge the government to consider them and their position as a matter of urgency.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted. The Honourable Alana McTiernan.
Thank you very much, President. Just very briefly, look, I thank the member for bringing that information forward. I do say that would have been actually very useful to have when we had the debate this morning, because it is quite central to your proposition. I will make sure that those materials are provided to the Minister for Health, and that we will seek to get a comprehensive response.